Chair recognizes Mr. Timmons from South Carolina for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I went to undergrad at GW. I lived at 15th and 9 McPherson Square, 2003 to 2007. I lived in Chinatown from 2010 to 2011. And I have been in D.C., mostly the Navy Yard, Capitol Hill area, since 2018. This is the least safe it has ever been. Law enforcement seems to have the lowest morale, judging by a number of factors. And I want to help solve this problem. I want this city to be the beacon that it should be for the world. I want people to come here and be impressed and think that the best days are ahead for the United States. I do not feel that they feel that way when they come here now. And when my constituents come to D.C., I warn them of things that they should and should not do, and that should not be the case. So we need to do something, and I want to help. After our last hearing that we had, Councilman Allen was kind enough to come and sit with me and Congressman Armstrong in my office just last week. We had a great conversation. I've identified 4 areas that I think that we need to address as a group. Congress has 2 of them, DC has 2 of them. I'm going to address the DC components, and Congressman Armstrong is going to follow up later with the structural reforms and the financial support that Congress can offer. So the 2 DC components are 1, criminal code and bail reform, and 2, anti-vagrancy laws. So let's start with anti-vagrancy laws. There's 5,000 people that are currently homeless in DC, experiencing homelessness, and we need to help them. We need to help them get back on their feet. We need to find a way to get them food, shelter, mental health services, job opportunities, so they are not living under 395. They're not living in Georgetown under the White Horse Freeway. I mean, I realize that steps have been taken, but they have been insufficient in my view, and we need to make sure that there are no homeless people in D.C. and that they transition to opportunities as quickly as possible. So that's one issue that and I'm going to send this to the mayor shortly. The next thing is the criminal code and bail reform. We need to send a message to the people that live and visit Washington, D.C., that the criminal code is fair, but if you are a repeat offender, it is harsh, because we need to have a deterrent threat. And bail reform, we cannot have repeat offenders that continue to commit crimes, get out, and then commit worse crimes. And I'm not going to go through all the different things. I think that there needs to be a tiered structure that would allow fairness. If somebody does something, makes a mistake, we need to help them get back on their feet. But there are bad people in the world, and we need to separate them from society. So I think that the criminal code and bail reform is a part of this. So I guess let's start with the homelessness issue. Mayor Bowser, do you agree that we can do more? And if Congress comes to the table to help change some structural issues and give some financial support, can we address this in a more meaningful way?
Well, thank you for your concern about our residents who are experiencing homelessness. Some of them are native to Washington, D.C. Some of them come to Washington, D.C. Because we are the capital and the seat of government. I've been proud over my 8 years as mayor to have a comprehensive approach to doing that. You'll see that we've driven down family homelessness by more than 70%.
Do you agree that we have a major, major problem in Washington, D.C. as it relates to homelessness?
We have 221 people as of today's count who are living on the street. Those are the people that you were referring to.
Councilman Allen gave me the 5,000 number. He sent me a report that was
There are not 5,000 people living on the street, sir. Those may be people
There's 221 people living under 395. We can go right now. It's 300 yards away. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about facts, and there are not 300 people under 295 or 395. We have outreach teams that are out and across all 8 wards, and we actually know.
Let's move on to the criminal code. Do you think that
those are the facts.
Your own councilman sent me a report saying 5,000 people were homeless in D.C. Okay, look, we're going to move on. Criminal code, bail reform. If Congress comes to the table and gives you all additional accountability with your and additional jurisdiction, and as well as additional resources, whether it's a new prison, whether it's homeless rehabilitation center, increased funding for law enforcement, prosecutors, whatever you need to fix this problem, can Council come to the table and in a more serious manner address the criminal code and bail to make sure that the people feel that they cannot commit crimes and get off and not be prosecuted?
Well, we understand that the Council's Committee on Public Safety and the Judiciary will take up the criminal code revision in the coming months, and we stand ready to assist them with that work. You may have heard
I'm running out of time. I'm sorry. He's going to follow up. Congressman Armstrong's going to follow up, but we're here to help. We're willing to provide additional jurisdiction, accountability, structural reforms, perhaps some financial support to address some of your challenges. I just hope that we can find a way to make this place the city that we all know it should be. Thank you, Mr.
We would
Chairman. I yield
take you
back.
up on your offer to assist. While we have a plan to replace our DC jail, we expect our capital dollars to be more constrained in the coming years, and we would happily work with you on an appropriation.